Independence Discs is back. Grab your red, white, and blue plastic and come celebrate freedom at Independence Discs 4. Brian Bickersmith will be running another $5 Deep Discs League round Friday morning, July 4th at 10 a.m. at J Park on the J27 Loop. No need to pre-register, just walk up and pay $5 with a $1 optional ace pot that currently sits at $40. So, Jerome Park, July 4th, 10 a.m., J27, $5, $6 if you want in on the ace pot. Tags will be in play. This could be Evan's 69th tag round of the year. Register from 9:30 to 9:55, tea time at 10, scoring on UDisc. I don't think your discs need to be red, white, and blue, but it would be pretty cool if they are. Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Alex, Randy, and Corey. No Tim or Jason tonight, and Jamin and Evan will be on a bit later. Was Jeff actually in the hospital with Lyme?
I mean, he posted that picture. I didn't hear anything from Kat, so I assume it wasn't too eventful. But yeah, it must have taken him out for at least a trip to the ER.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Has everybody here had it at least once or no?
Yeah. I somehow have dodged it. I don't know how.
Knock on wood, I haven't had it yet, but I've definitely had ticks, so...
I waited a long time to get on the medication too, so like I thought I just had the flu, so I wasn't running to the hospital to get Doxy that quickly, so I was pretty messed up for a few days.
I've told this story before. I waited so long my first time because I didn't know. I developed Bell's palsy.
My brother got that.
Oh yeah, that can happen.
Yeah. I just think it's, especially this time of year, it's definitely a topic to address. But I've tested positive twice myself. I had to take I want to say, and I might be wrong here. It seems ludicrous, but I think they gave me steroids for like a week, and it was like take 7 the first day, then 6, then 5, then 4, then etc.
Yep.
And then obviously the Doxy for like a month. Was that a month? It's been a while since I've had to.
I think they typically do either 21 or 28 days.
Okay.
Unless you do get like that little quick 2 or 3 day, like just in case. I feel like that's also another plan you can get on.
Yeah. And it just goes to show, even if you're diligent, and I'm sure he is, it could still, you know what I mean? It could still sneak in there. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so many nooks and crannies. I've never seen a bullseye. I don't even know what one would look like. I mean, I'm sure I can Google it, but I found ticks before, pulled them off and all that kind of stuff, but I never had any kind of bullseye ring or anything like that. There's just so many symptoms that you can have.
Yeah, it was literally Friday morning. Like, I didn't go anywhere. I was home for most of the day before playing my roundup at Hyzer, and all I did was pack the car with like camping gear, and I'm literally driving down my driveway, and I went to go like rub my arm and just felt a little bump that I thought could have been anything, a scab, and then I saw it crawling, and it was a freaking tick. Like I didn't go like out in the grass, or so it must have been in something or on something or still in my tent bag from the last time. Who knows? Like
Long Island is hugely prone to it. Are there any particular courses in the DisCap area, or is it just pretty much everywhere?
You would think courses like Blatnick, Minekill, the places that have taller grass would typically be theoretically the most prone. J Park, if you're getting off the fairway, you get into a lot of those tick traps.
Hopefully he's fine.
I'm sure he's feeling a hell of a lot better now. I know that Doxy does not take long to make you feel noticeably better.
Absolutely, yeah. Speaking of Jeff, Shen Creek Dubs week 13, Tyler the Cannon Gannon and Jim Burns shot a -10. That's good.
How many people were there?
Probably a lot, basically. I don't know. They've been having big numbers the last few weeks.
Seems like possibly 34.
Okay. Corey, did you play your Summer Battle Royale match?
No, me and Brian still haven't scheduled it yet. We definitely talked about it, and we're probably going to knock it out the week after the 4th, like during the week after the 4th, maybe. Forget when it's supposed to be done, by the middle of July at some point.
I think the next round is the 14th.
Yeah, July 14th it needs to be done by, so that's coming up quick. And we'll probably just go to SBW because it's fastest for both of us.
I had my match on Saturday. I went to Prospect Park.
In my hometown of Troy, New York.
Is that where you live?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's your home course?
Yep, the very first place I ever played.
Huh, okay. So I played Ross Coons. We played at 11 o'clock. He got up pretty quickly. I screwed up hole 2, and probably I want to say 5, he got a birdie, so he got me there. But he was up like 3 strokes going into hole 7. I got one on 7. I got the one I got on 7.
That's a good one to get. That's not an easy hole.
Is that the Troy sign hole or the...
Yeah, it is. Yep.
My downfall happened on hole 11. And I'm going to make a complaint about the course, but I want to preempt it by saying I defy any of you guys to tell me that there's any perfect courses. This is not a condemnation of the course. But if I have an issue with it, it's the signage is terrible. Not terrible. That's not even a good word. I don't particularly care for the signage. If you're going to have OB, I should be able to see it just by glancing at the sign. I don't need to wear glasses to read where the OB is.
Oh, is it tiny letters?
It's very small print. I had to go up real close to find out. It is technically marked on the sign, but it's not like red, which would be the universal notation for OB, unless I'm crazy.
No, absolutely. You want to make that kind of stuff as clear as possible.
Thank you.
Like they are at CTK.
That's my goal. I still get people who are like, those T signs are a little misleading. I'm like, fuck.
No, I don't think so. I played a round of reds and a round of blues yesterday, and no complaints other than my game.
Yeah, it's like you see the red and you're like, oh, I have to read that. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you just think, oh, there's the basket. Let me throw at it. That's not even the problem. The problem is nobody told me that it was OB. It's a 200-something foot hole with a little skinny walkway path behind it, which I understand why it's OB. But 3 different people were there on the 2 times I played it, and none of them told me about it.
Did they know it was like your first time playing there?
Ross knew it was my second time. I don't know. It's like a 200-foot hole. Why wouldn't you say, oh, by the way, don't go 220 because you're going to go out of bounds. You know what I mean? And then I didn't even find out until the second round. So my third round there, that hole 9 has OB behind it.
Yeah, technically there's a pre-existing trail that's kind of down there past the green.
Again, totally justified why they have a sign there.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue neither of those need to have holes there if you're going to have OB that close.
9 is super easy to go OB on, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, both of those holes are so short. I think the OB is maybe justified to make you take pace off your throw or like actually aim, but
I totally get that.
They are very hard to see, being like white flags that are kind of trampled and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing. I didn't even know. I threw on and I went to pick it up and I'm like, there's like one white flag sitting here. Does that mean anything? In his defense, Brandon, he was Googling on the phone. He wasn't playing. He was just following us along for fun, which is fine. But I'm like, there's just one weird flag here. And he didn't say anything. So I'm like, okay. And then I turn around and I'm like, wait, there's another flag over there. And oh yeah, that's OB. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. So I don't know. I had an issue with it. Again, if it was red, if there was a red mark on the sign, if there was anything, and you'd think locals would give you a heads up.
Well, I like to think I would have told you, Pat, but I wasn't there, so we'll never know.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's my fault. I didn't stop at every sign and read them with my reading glasses on.
Been there, done that. Know exactly how you feel in this situation, Pat.
I take your point.
Yeah. I mean, well, again, it's just me picking nits. But really what happened was, so that hole 11, I went OB, and he got that third stroke back, and it was kind of over from there. I screwed up 12, mostly out of frustration. And then I actually, what's the one? It's OB all on the left on the path. Is it like 14 or 15? 14. So at that point, I'm anger throwing. Not like pissed, because I don't get pissed. It's not worth it. But
no, you're on tilt.
Yeah, just like whatever. And I threw it about basket high. I'm like, I got nothing. I'm like, I could see the basket. It's right there, but all I got is this little gap. So I threw like a roller, and it just rolled and stopped on a rock. So I actually won a hole, and I'm like, fuck, that means I got to play an extra hole. I was just hoping it would be over soon. But yeah, so he ended up winning on hole 16, which is the first one back out of the woods.
Yep.
He's using the app. He's like, what's this stormy mean? And I'm like, that basically means if I don't win this hole, it's over. I said, and then if I don't win the next one, it's over. If I don't win the next one, So I throw a first shot. It's okay. But based on where he was at, I want to say I threw farther on the first shot. So his second shot was pretty much there. So I had to get it in. And I'm like, if I throw this too hard, it's going to go either in the basket or the road. And at the last second in my head, I kind of chickened out. And it faded out early, and it still went OB because I didn't realize there was like a parking area over like the road juts out. And I'm like, oh crap. So I went OB either way, and I didn't even run it, So yeah, he ended up winning. The last time I think I made it to 15. This time I made it to 16. So next year, hole 17, baby.
Heck yeah.
And the good news is, since I'm out, that's the last we'll hear of the Summer Battle Royale on the Hudson podcast, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm kidding. Corey, we already heard from you. Anybody else know of any matches coming up?
I have to play Eric Struna. We haven't picked a date or time. I think we talked about SPW Whites, but we got to get that done by a week from today.
I actually played with Eric Struna. I played a dubs round after I played with Mike Cohen.
Yep.
We flipped discs. At one point, though, I lost track of what I flipped, if it was heads or tails, so I had to reflip. I ended up getting stuck with the other two four-handers. The only two predominantly four-handers on the whole card played with each other. Eric Struna played with. Who else was there, Evan? You remember the names?
Take a quick peek, because I played behind you guys.
Most of those guys stuck around.
Will Stone, my buddy Will, shout out. Will plays in a really cool Grateful Dead cover band. I think Nick Atcats was there.
Okay.
Tall, bearded, lots of tattoos. My buddy Zach Raths was there. I think he was going to stick around maybe with you guys. I had to go pick up my daughter so my wife could go to work, so I could not stay.
There was a guy, they kept calling him Matty O, but I think his name's Matt.
Oh, yeah. Matt Ellis. Shout out Matt Ellis.
That's what it was, Ellis, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun crew.
Eric ended up being Cali, so he got a few extra throws in. Speaking of Devin Lamke, he won Disc Beat Club last Thursday, shot a -10. Alex, you didn't play in the monthly? Why? Because there's no points for it?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I saw a weekend that I didn't have any disc golf scheduled, and I decided to do absolutely nothing with it.
Did you play in volleyball?
No volleyball. No active things at all, basically.
All right. So DisCap had their June monthly at Saratoga Spa State Park. Looks like Kathleen Bemis won the women's division.
Hotly contested.
Yeah, she beat out at least half the competition.
Exactly. We brought the kids for that. Kat kind of picked SPAC as a last minute choice for the month. The month was ending and a monthly hadn't happened. So yeah, we dragged the kids along for the round since SPAC is easy for kids to get around with the promise of going in the pool after. What
actually happens if the month expires and the monthly hasn't happened? Do we just not want to find out?
I don't know when the last time a month was missed. No, I think.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I remember talking about it in the forum days.
If I remember correctly, I think the only monthly we've ever missed was COVID.
That makes sense.
But I obviously am not the most lore master of DisCap. So, but yeah, that was what was in my head.
Okay. Looks like Peter Fitzisti and Tim Martino tied in the AM division. They both shot -6. Was there any kind of tiebreaker that you guys know of? Not to foreshadow or anything, but...
There was a tiebreaker, and I think Pete won. Okay. I'm the only person that knows because Corey wasn't there.
What was the tiebreaker? Was it just start at 1 again?
Yeah, I think they just started on 1, and it only lasted 1 or 2 holes. I can't remember now. We were a little slow with the children in tow. We were the last card in.
All right. Well, how'd you guys do? Who should start? I'm thinking Corey. Yeah, Corey. How was your monthly? Well, first of all, how was your weekend? Didn't you do a bunch of crap on the weekend?
Yeah, so we had the Hyzer Flex up at Hyzer Creek Disc Golf Course, and I also promised my buddy I'd go camping with him. He actually lives near Hyzer Creek, so he goes camping a lot up in the Hudson River area up there, just to the east of Sacandaga River, where the water's actually clean. So I made a last-minute decision to drive my little Eagle Talon all the way up there and kind of make it more of an adventure, not knowing if I'd make it to any place I was going to go. So before the monthly, I spent a couple days up in Hadley, New York camping, which made it convenient to make it to the DisCap Monthly at Saratoga. I can't remember the last time I was at a monthly, let alone Saratoga Disc Golf Course. I think probably 2 years ago for the course when we played there as an away match. But I figured it gave me a good excuse to kind of kick out of the campground early and not just sit around being lazy, wasting the morning away and check out SPAC again. So it was kind of a hot day, but I was a little surprised. I figured there'd be more people there for being, how many people are kind of local spa disc golf players.
I had 19.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a decent number. And really, the course doesn't really look to handle too many more people than that anyways. So I played with Brandon Klein and Josh Lee. It's cool because those two guys don't really get a chance to play with that often. I was playing pretty good, got some of the tough birdies and some of the longer holes and missed some of the easy ones, and was kind of trailing Randy the entire time. Although we were on a threesome and they were on a foursome and had, bunch of kids and stuff with them. So by the time I finished my round at 8 down, I think I was tied with Randy, but he still had at least 4 holes left. And there's no way that Randy plays 4 holes at Saratoga and doesn't get at least 1 birdie. So I'm just going to kick out and start heading home. I think I had just gotten to Taco Bell in Glenmont. No, that's a lie. I was just coming through Albany and I got a message from Brandon insinuating that maybe I had left a little too early. And that's when I saw Randy was tied at 8 down.
How about your round there, Randy?
Yeah, so for my round, we had Kat, Adam Nelson, and Melissa Calabria. And they are very used to hanging out with our kids, which is why we had them on our card. I was playing well. The kids were, a little on my nerves during the round, but it was okay. I was putting well. Cord, you start on like 9?
Yeah, we basically started on hole 18.
Yeah. So because you guys started on like 9A, you guys played the harder holes first.
Oh, so I guess that we started on hole 9, not 8.
Yeah, hole 9A. So then you jumped to 1B,
which would be like hole 10.
And you played the B holes first, which are like a little bit harder. So you kind of played it a little backwards compared to me. So I think, yeah, with like 4 holes left or 5 holes left, I was starting to hit the harder versions of holes. And yeah, I took a kind of silly bogey on. It is the longest hole in the course. I think it's hole 4.
Because that damn branch, right?
It was that branch off the tee. Yeah, it's
like,
grown in. It makes the hole a lot harder. I used to get, within the circle off the tee going through that gap, and now that gap is
a pretty strong like
up.
left to right. So like,
yeah,
if you do it that low, chances are you're probably gonna like turn over too low and cut roll away and not get any distance.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I would have played it any different if I just knew I would hit those branches, but whatever. Few holes left. Yeah, I knew the score. We were still tied. And I thought the same thing. I was like, well, I'm going to birdie one of these holes. And we get to the last 2 holes and I got a 20-footer on my second to last hole. I've been putting well like the whole day and just like forgot how to putt, like hit the cage with no power at all. And I kind of got shook from that. So then on hole 18, I got the same exact like 20-footer. And I'm just telling myself, just like jam it in there, win this thing outright. I have no idea that you left. And I'm like a mental mess for this, I'm sure it was like 12 seconds. Like I don't take that long when I'm standing there, but in my head, it was like, a minute. And I just caged that putt again. And it rolls actually a foot further away. It rolls straight back at me and I have to step out of the way. And I am just like a mess. And I somehow just like buckle down and drain that putt to not lose to you. And I'm expecting to walk over and have to do a playoff. And I'm like kind of furious at that point. And you were gone. So I guess I technically won.
Yeah. And then I ate Taco Bell instead. And then
that was your celebration.
Yeah.
And I got to take the kids in the pool, which was kind of nice. But also it's kids in a giant pool full of other kids.
Meanwhile, Corey had Taco Bell and he ended up dropping off the kids at the pool. So.
Yeah. Especially after being gone for 2 days.
Right? All that steak.
Yeah.
Non-expired.
It was nice to cook a fresh steak on an open fire, but I think I've been experiencing some scope creep and where my steaks are getting bigger. Like this last one was like, I don't know, almost 1.5 pounds. I really need to stay around that 1 pound, like 1.01 mark. 1.5 pounds is a lot of meat.
Yeah, I dare you to get like a 0.8, but like something of higher quality and not just a slab of like lean beef.
Yeah, that was the part that got me. I stood there for a while at the meat section, perusing the selection, and like nothing was calling out to me. Selection was kind of garbage, but I definitely should have went with like maybe a couple of half-pounders.
Yeah, get like a New York strip or something
next time, which actually might be coming up sooner than I thought. Because James is here. Oh, what a segue. Perfect. Because as of today, I'm also playing in the Boondock Battle at Greek Peak and camping for that.
Oh, nice.
Having never played Greek Peak before, Kyle baited me into playing it. And then I noticed that Lasasso was already signed up for it.
Nice. I was thinking about playing that one. It turns out my brother's going to be in town, so I'm not going to be able to make it. I was a little bummed out, but I think after that, like every weekend until September is busy. So it's going to be my last gasp of no tournaments for a while.
Where's that course at?
Middle of nowhere.
Cortland, New York, like the Binghamton-ish area.
Okay.
The Greek Peak like resort as a whole is pretty badass, it seems. I've never been there before, but at least the propaganda on their homepage seems pretty enticing.
The registration for Wilcox opened up a little bit, right? Pro registration?
At 8 p.m., yeah, 3 minutes for the first year pros.
And that's what, $9.49?
$9.49 higher, yep, for mixed pro.
You guys going to try to get on that quick? Or
I will, but it won't be necessary.
So you'll have until July 7th before it opens up for $8.99 and above.
Yeah, I'll sign up early just to kind of like scare the MPO.
There you go.
Well, how often do you get to sign up for with a minimum player rating? You know what I mean?
Rarely.
Yeah, so why not?
Usually it's more like tier 3, 920 and higher.
I mean, Alex has to wait till Bastille Day unless he wants to sponsor a hole.
Assuming that's all still, the pro thing. I listened to Nick talk about it twice, and I still couldn't quite tell if it was intended to be pros or if it was intended to be everybody. But that's more my listening comprehension than anything else.
Well, yeah, I thought they said that. I'm just going off my memory, but I thought it was to actually entice more of the pros to get in before opening it up to the AM.
That sounds right. I can see why you might want to have more pros at an event. I can't deny that one.
They got 45 holes available to sponsor.
Yeah, definitely no shortage there.
Since when does Wilcox have 45 holes?
Yeah, I was just trying to do that math in my head. Is it shorts too? Like you can sponsor?
Oh, it's got to be Hatchet Reds.
Yeah, yep. That makes I still
a
don't know.
little bit more sense.
45. Yeah, it's 9.
Are those ones half priced?
36 plus 9.
36 plus 9, yeah. But like
45.
Are
Thanks,
18
Alex.
of them
I couldn't
half
do that.
priced?
Wait, does it say in the About section?
Because there'd be a sponsor at each tee. Yeah, maybe you're sponsoring a tee as opposed to a whole hole. I mean, the greens and the oranges at Mindkill are the same when you sponsor those, right?
Well, there's sponsors. You can sign up as a sponsor on the AM side, so I think that's how you end up with more holes than 18.
It says 45 available, and I'm guessing they have already sold some.
Well, there's 5 players in MA1 right now, and a couple in MA40. MA55, there's one. MA2's got a couple, so...
Would it make more sense if it was 52?
The entire 18, like Classic 18, has red tees. So there's like so many you could sponsor.
Makes sense. What did you do this past weekend, Jamin? Anything interesting?
No, not really. I'm like kind of struggling to remember what I did this weekend. But I guess I did a lot of coursework, hung out, got some stuff done around the house. That's about it. It was a pretty good weekend and not disc golf related almost at all.
Nice to get away. And CTK Handicap League was canceled this week. Was that because of the heat?
Absolutely. We have a sizable contingent of MA60 players. It's hot for everybody, but it didn't feel like it was necessary going out there, especially because CTK is hilly and half of the course is really open.
Yeah, it seems like that's over for at least the short term.
Yeah, it's been nice since then.
Who played in the DisCap Series 3? You got Evan and Corey. Is that it? All right. That's weird. It seems like there's been more than 3, but this is only the 3rd one?
I think so, yeah.
This one was at Hyzer Creek. We had one at Burbine, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, that was the one I was trying to think of. Yeah, I was trying to think of this the other day, and I couldn't remember.
What was the other one?
Thatcher.
Oh, right. My first
Thatcher.
career win. How could I forget?
So the DisCap Series 2025 number 3 at Hyzer Creek, tournament director Mike Schwartz. 75 players, not bad. I'll go through the divisions and then you guys can talk about your rounds. Mixed juniors under 15, Matthew Lucht won that. Ben Blaufus won the mixed amateur 3 division by 1 stroke over Andrew Chamberlain. Krista Kovac won women's amateur 2. David Gieslin won MA2 with a -1, beat Ryan Lawrence by 2 strokes. John Furman won MA60 by 1 stroke over Jim Burns. MA50, Jeff Darling won by 6 strokes over Ron British Tire. And what about MA40, Evan? Looks like you, Aaron Holtby, and Terry Hudson, or T-Hud as the kids call him, right?
Yes, and I was talking to my wife the other day about something, and Terry was in the story, and I said, yeah, and then T-Hud said, whatever, and she's like, what did you just say? I was like, oh, yeah, Terry Hudson. She's like, did you say T-Hud? Like, yeah, like it's spelled like thud, and she said, that is by far the worst nickname I've ever heard. I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty common now, so shout out T-Hud.
I was going to say, that's kind of a thing, like B. Klein.
Right. I don't know.
So what would I be, P. Key, or I don't even know if you can. My name doesn't fit in that.
Like P-Key or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be Peking.
Yeah, that might be, but RBeam, maybe. CCook, that works.
That works really well, actually. I get that a lot.
Yeah. JHume. Did you ever get that, Jamin? JHume?
Nope.
No, I didn't think so.
If I had to guess, I'd say Jamin probably doesn't have a ton of nicknames just because Jamin is such a unique name.
Hey, yo, teach.
Yeah, also probably a lot.
Yep.
EParse?
EParse? I think that works. Evan, happy with a parsley?
Yeah, I was going to say even Pars, EParse. That's
That's what's up.
Okay. Yeah, I still think CCook might be the of our names. Or APotts. I guess that works. APotts. Well, no, because then it gets confusing, because there are multiple pots. You're talking about APotts. Which pots?
A lot of pots.
Pots is pretty common. It's a good, like single syllable, solid name to call somebody. Like volleyball teams and things like that tend to call me Pots. But then we get into disc golf and like you can't really do that because there's going to be like 4 people looking over when you say it.
Yeah, I've gotten Keenan. That's pretty common. PK, PJ, because my middle initial is the letter J. So but I've never actually been a PJ, even though I guess I could be. All right, so Evan, how'd your round go?
Round went well. It was fun. Originally, Tim Goyette was signed up to be on my card. We were the 12-10 group again, second card out. But Tim withdrew, and it was down to me and I don't even remember at that point, on the card at least, Michael, gosh, I'm not going to remember his last name. Where did he play? Pelzer, Michael Pelzer. It was just the two of us. And then I think the day before I looked and suddenly we had 4 people on the card, including Greg Kurtz and Ethan Hatters. Greg actually reached out to me and asked if I'd be willing to give him a ride up. And I totally was down for that. So went and picked Greg up. We went to Prospect for a little bit, played a couple holes to loosen up, and then headed up to Hyzer.
How far is Hyzer from Prospect?
I would say it was like 55 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness.
It's a hike out there. So we went out there and, said hi to Schwartz and played a little. What was the loop Greg had us play? I think we played 3, 4, and 9 to loosen up a little bit and did some practice putting with Ethan. Steady start, kind of a story of the round. Not throwing great off the tee early, but making a lot of good par saves. On hole 3, I had kind of made it down to the island, but it bounced back into the stream, but that gave me a pretty easy par putt to tap in. The guy, Michael, that was with us, had been playing disc golf for like a year and lives really close to Hyzer Creek. I think it might have been his second sanctioned event maybe. And so, we were both kind of just watching Ethan shred the course. That was fun. A lot of wow moments. The vibes were great, obviously, with Greg and Ethan, too. Everything was really, really cool. Highlight for me was definitely probably 16. I threw a great tee shot with my reactor, got right down to, kind of right to the left of the middle where you're looking down at the next shot. And Ethan said, you should probably just throw a understable mid. I said, that sounds good. I did that, and it got right down to the edge of the creek, and I basically had a tap in birdie. Well, I think I'm missing a shot there. Reactor detour. Oh, yeah. And then my pitch is the one that got right down to the edge of the creek for an easy 4, when other people were going into the water. That felt great. So then, of course, I got a double bogey on the next hole. But then on 18, had a pretty good feeling drive, hit a tree, was most of the way down the hill, on the upslope, though, and just had a really fun throw in with my pitch to get birdie on that one, too. So a couple birdies there to finish the round. Finished +4, which was my best round at Hyzer Creek so far. That settled into an 879, which is higher than my rating. And on the way home, Greg and I stopped for cheddar cheese and root beer, and it was just a nice Friday. I had a good time. There's like that. What's that that little store at the bottom of the hill, the wagon or the something wagon
you
wheel?
stopped there?
Oh yeah.
Their whole thing is cheese or whatever on the
yeah,
the
snappy
side.
cheese. It's under like a glass case on the counter. And on the way in, Greg said the people here are anarchists, which is fine. The woman she wasn't rude, but she wasn't friendly. Like I couldn't find the right word for it. You know what I mean?
Like she was annoyed you were in there to spend money at her place.
Right.
Yes, right. What's the word for that? Like Greg said surly. I'm like, she wasn't surly. She wasn't, standoffish, I guess. Yeah, she was giving us the look like, what the heck are you doing here?
Bad business sense? I don't know.
I don't know.
What the
But
phrase
like
is.
Clientele, yuck.
Yeah, right.
But like I said, Greg got some cheese and I got us a couple root beers.
Did you eat just a block of cheese? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, he took it to go. He
Oh.
was bringing it home. I guess they age it there. I don't know. I was happy with the root beer. I didn't get any cheese to go, but
So he got cheese to go, and then you both had root beers.
yes,
That makes a
correct.
lot more sense than mixing root beer with cheese or just eating cheese alone.
Like sitting
So,
down
okay.
and having a plate of cheese. And
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No. When I should say Greg bought the root beer because I drove.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
yeah, and I didn't try any of the cheese, so I don't know.
No, that's cool.
But anyway, my +4 put me. I was watching scores after that. Aaron finished +3, and then Terry had a good day. He finished 1 down for yet another win. Good job, T Hood.
Heck yeah. Women's Amateur 1, Megan Bursell won that by 2 strokes over Juliet Barney. MA1, Robert Bobby Hallam won it by 1 stroke over Chandler Harvey. And Chandler beat Jeremy Forehand Florida Man Millian by a stroke.
Yeah, Jeremy Millian took the ace on hole 3. I'm assuming with a forehand.
I hope
for
so.
like $400 and something, I think, somewhere around there.
Tyler the Cannon Gannon shot -1 under par. Can I clarify something? Is there a Charles Gordon and a Charles Gordon Jr., or are they the same person just depending on what you're looking at? He has the junior on there.
I think it's the same person, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
There's Charles Gordon. I don't know if it says junior on it, but then there's Charles Carpenter Jr.
I'm familiar with that one, but like on UDisc, I see Charles Gordon, and then on here it says Charles Gordon. On PDGA, it says Charles Gordon Jr., so I just didn't know if those were the same person.
I think that's the same person, yeah.
Okay. Moving over to the pros, MP50, Greg Kurtz won the MP50 division by 4 strokes over David Herodes. FPO looks like Amber Stout squeaked by Kat Bemis by 2 strokes. Any notable stories there, Randy?
I was watching the scores live, and it seemed like they were both playing really well, and it was really tight just right up until the end. I think those last two, like hole 17, I think got her. I don't know. I think maybe she doubled or tripled it or something like that. That one can get you for sure.
All right. And then over an MPO, before you get to your round, Corey, and correct me if I'm wrong, but last second, like Justin Michelli, wasn't he trying to get his tee time moved?
Yeah, no, he still played. I think he tried to move up his tee time, which in hindsight, I kind of wish I did the same thing. But
so how'd your round go?
Yeah, so in classic fashion, signed up for like the last tee time, even though I had the day off. So I sat around all day waiting to go up there and play. I played with Brandon Klein and one guy who was new to the scene, Ethan something. I think he played MA3. I think it was like his first tournament event. He was fun to play with. And whoever else I played with, I don't remember. Oh, no, it was Charles Gordon. Yeah, I remember I played with Charles Gordon Jr. the third. So the card was fun. Before driving up there, I'd already seen that Ethan was on a hot start. I think he was in at 11 down before I even got up there. So 11 down is like way better than I've ever played before. I think my previous best is actually 8 down. So I was kind of joking around that, like, oh, I should just like not even go and just go up to camp earlier. But I showed up. Hole 1 for me is like the hardest hole on the entire course, given like how frequently it gets birdie, because it's just like it's a downhill putter shot, and that's like my worst enemy. Until I added a throwing bullfrog to my bag, and now I'm kind of like a big putter guy.
Oh shit!
So watch out, because I am lighting up these putter shots.
Is that premium plastic?
No, they only make it an XT. So
XT's good though.
It's base-ish.
Did you also stop eating meat?
Nah, not yet.
Okay, just checking.
I still love meat.
I'm pulling that clip, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was clear by the throwing bullfrogs.
I did not have a chance to warm up. Being that it's a flag since the last tee time, and there's not really any room at Hyzer, I kind of thought about stopping at one of the school fields on the way up there in the town of Galway, but I just said, screw it, I went to the park.
Well, Evan said he played at Prospect. Is there not another course nearby?
Blatnick or Schenectady might be like well, actually, I take that back. That Dove Creek course in Amsterdam might be the closest, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there.
Okay.
Also, for me, like, I don't know, it doesn't really... I guess it is still kind of a warm-up, especially if you haven't played in a few days, but, like, warming up and then getting in the car and driving an hour, it's like, are you just wasting time?
Right, how much does that... that's
so there's nothing really local. There's nothing, like, within 20, 30 minutes, basically.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But, yeah, so I was able to start off with a birdie, which felt good. I kind of did not think about the 11 down that Ethan put up earlier. Like, I didn't think that was going to be beatable, so I was just kind of hanging out. We had a ton of backups, and I don't know if that's because, like the accordion effect of maybe there's a small backup at one point in the round and just kind of like created a ripple effect. Or I kind of had this hunch that there's a problem with how casual people take flex starts, and it just adds to the round length. I mean, I'm sure it was in the Schwartz notes, but the whole, like, it's not just about staying ahead of the card behind you, but keeping up the card ahead of you. And so being that we were the last card, I feel like it affected us the most, to where we basically finished the last 4 holes of Hyzer in a fair amount of darkness. And those last 4 holes both probably also had a sum of like 20 minutes of waiting. So, halfway through the round, I think I birdied like half the holes. I had a chance to eagle hole 5, which I would have needed to really do anything crazy. I think through 14 holes, I was 7 down. Hole 16 is the creek hole. I had a great, chop forehand drive that can get you into that eagleable position. Had a decent second shot, but didn't quite get myself into, that chance to run a putt for eagle. Tried to do the layup play, and that hole is like the hardest hole to lay up, and ended up skipping off a rock and going OB. So tap in par. If I eagled that hole somehow, I would have felt a lot better going into the last 2 holes of possibly being able to tie Ethan. Hole 17 played real well, and I get to hole 18. An ace wouldn't have done anything crazy other than get into the ace pot, obviously, which actually is a lot crazier than the $41 you'd get from winning the event. And I made the gap, threw it a little too hard to the little flick leopard 3, which is just what I'm feeling comfortable in that hole, and then had some 25-footer that I had no business in running. It was obstructed, and the only thing it would have done is like move it down the leaderboard, but ran it, caged it, tapped it in for a 8 down, which ties my personal best at the course. The card ahead of me that started at 450 had Jack Fruchter and Azariah Contret on it. And those guys, for the entire round, I was kind of battling against them. I think Azariah had 1 or 2 bad holes in the back, 3 holes, and Jack might have took 1 bogey towards the end. But it was kind of a pretty interesting battle for second. It was also interesting to play Hyzer Creek outside of like the early spring, late fall, and not have to deal with any black flies or deer flies. So, and it actually had good weather. I think we got a couple of spritz of rain, but it was a good day. And that was the last one in the parking lot leaving, which felt weird. Schwartz, after being there all day, he's like, all right, I'm getting the hell out of here.
No Brian?
Brian actually, I think, was on a family camping trip.
Yeah, I just mean that you were the last one in the parking lot and it wasn't Brian's fault.
Yeah, not this time, but don't worry. I'm sure there'll be more of those instances.
Corey, did you throw a putter a lot at SPAC this time now that you're a putter guy?
I did throw it on, was that 6? What's the one that's like on like the dirt mound, kind of in the corner, the back right corner?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I threw it on one of those shots. I should have threw it for both, but I was throwing my Gator 3 a lot, Gator 3 and Toro, which are not putters, but...
I threw a putter on like more than half the holes, but you would have known that if you were anywhere within 30 feet of me though during the round.
Why, were you freaking telling everybody about it?
Yeah, I was yelling every time I threw a putter.
I thought it was that one group of 6 of old guys that was literally going nuts over like the craziest bogey saves probably, but it was just you throwing a putter.
Yeah, that's what I was just like, hey guys, I'm throwing a putter again.
Makes sense.
So, cash line, 4th place, Troy Vasari, Jack Fruchter in 3rd, Corey 2nd, and Ethan Hatters is your winner. And the next one's in a couple weeks. Am I correct there?
Yep, at Central Park in Schenectady. Also, Ethan's 11 down was 10-17 rated, which is pretty sick.
Heck yeah.
Ethan had an eagle on 14. That was pretty cool to see. When we were starting out, just kind of making small talk with that guy Michael on the card, and Ethan was saying, yeah, Hyzer's weird. I either shoot like even or 1 down, or I shoot like 8 down. And Michael looked at me with his eyebrows up like, oh, yeah, totally relatable. Yeah, me too.
We mentioned Charles Gordon Jr. III. Him and Dylan Marshing shot a -13 at Saratoga Spa, Random Dubs, week 12, Hell Week. I assume that's temperature-related Hell Week.
Oh, yeah. Chuck also nailed the basket on hole 3 as well, just barely splashing out for ace. So that hole was getting bullied. Hole 14 that Ethan Eagle was getting bullied. I saw a guy on the card ahead of me throw it in from like 120 feet. It was a bad day to be a Hyzer hole.
What about J-Dubs? How'd that work out this week? Week 15?
Yeah, week 15. So it was a hot week, and it was coming after like Gorsage had already canceled Dubs at Prospect. So I wasn't really sure what we were going to do. I decided to let it ride, and we would play J West being like a quicker layout. Kind of thought that maybe it'd make more sense to go and play like east or north, like kind of in the shade in the woods. But gladly we did not do that because the mosquitoes were absolutely terrible. I don't know what they're feeding these things or what they're not doing. What happened to the spraying for mosquitoes? Is that, or did they stop doing that because of?
I was going to say, Corey, because you're the ones feeding them.
Yeah, well, true. Yes, I am feeding the hell out of them. So maybe these mosquitoes are just juiced up on PBR. So yeah, we played J West once again. I think 50% of the weeks at this point have finished in a playoff. This time between me and James Scow and Harry Lehman and Dennis Daly. Again, I went to 3 holes, and I think we finished on hole 7 at J Park. Harry and Dennis had like a circle 2 look from on top of the rocks, and me and James had a circle 1 putt, and James has just been crushing it with putts lately. So he won that for us, and Dennis also hit this cash CTP on hole 30. So
nice.
Yeah, 9 down was the winning score.
Now, how many weeks total?
We're doing 20 out of 28. Yeah, so we're more than halfway there.
Speaking of 9 down, how was Regeneron Wednesday Dubs, Randy?
It was good. We had only 3 people, but 1 new person. We're actually getting a lot of new people this year. So I don't know how many individual, unique players we've had this year, but I've given out a lot more discs. But yeah, it was a good time. I finally eagled, 8? I've tried a million times at this point and finally got it. It was only, I know it was doubles, but it was only my throws at least. Yeah, good round.
Is that Prospect?
Yes. Yeah, Prospect.
I was going to ask with 3 people, why not just play singles? But if that's a new guy, it
Yeah,
makes
we had a
sense.
new guy. I had him with me, and Justin Hickok basically was like, if I play Cali, I get more practice, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, nice. All right, here's a rules question from Jason. This one I think is a little trickier than last week, so there might be some bonus points for this one. It's the 2026 Mindkill Disc Golf Championship Pro Side Weekend, and local DisCap competitor Rory Rook has made the lead MPO card of the final round. Rory is tied with the tournament leader Seymour Putts after finishing the 15th hole. Both Rory and Seymour are sitting at minus 12 going into the 16th hole. Rory has the box and crushes his drive past the big evergreen on the right. Seymour is not so fortunate and hits the first available tree and rolls 50 feet backwards. He's very nervous because there's a camera crew filming the final round. Seymour shakes it off and laces his second shot through the gap and is in a good spot on the fairway. Seymour throws his third shot and is parked under the basket for par. Seymour took so long getting his head together that Rory is unsure exactly where his disc ended up. He searches everywhere and cannot find it. The whole group looks, and after 3 minutes, it is called a lost disc, and Rory re-tees. Rory's re-tee is identical to his first shot, except he finds it 100 feet short of the basket. Rory lays up his next shot, which he taps in for bogey, with the lost disc penalty. Both competitors walk to the tee pad of hole 17. As Rory approaches the next tee, he sees his good friend Ryan Rickersmith, who is extremely happy to give him one of Rory's discs that he found. As Rory looks at the disc, he realizes that Ryan found his last drive before the group walked up and looked for it. As such, Rory had no chance of finding his disc. Rory protests to the group that this is unfair and that he shouldn't be penalized. He feels that he should get a 3 on the hole. How should the group proceed?
It reminds me of the one about the person on the bicycle grabbing the disc, or at least when we talked about that. But that was something that was witnessed. This was not seen by anybody. I'd say tough luck. It's a lost disc and you get a bogey.
All right. Anybody with a differing opinion?
As far as I understand, once you've declared a disc lost, it's lost. You could walk up and find it 30 seconds after the 3 minutes, and it's still considered a lost disc. So the fact that it was interfered with, even though they didn't know it was interfered with, might end up changing things. But my instinct is, they called it a lost disc. It's a lost disc.
I do like citing that specific rule to aid in this argument. It does sound very applicable.
Anybody with a differing opinion?
Man, especially if he admits it, though. Ryan Jabroni. Yeah, it feels pretty gross.
Mr. Ryan Rickersmith?
Yeah.
I feel like the ruling on Rory's part is correct. I'm wondering if Ryan is in the tournament and if he would also be stroked for picking up somebody's lie. But there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of information on that. So I don't know. But I don't know. I want there to be a provision that says if you find that somebody messed with it, but it just the whole process of everything makes me think that, nope, it's a lost disc. Tough noogies. Find better friends. The
only difference I could see is definitely before he finished the hole and probably before he threw his shot, his re-tee or whatever, that if they found out about it at that point, they could have just did the whole group consent. Well, not even that would feel that's a slippery slope too. If the group could come to a conclusion of based on where Ryan picked up the disc, could they determine a lie for him, but without actually ever having seen it before?
Yeah, I guess if he said, "Oh, can you show us where you picked it up?" Maybe that plays in. But that's all. That's not what we're being asked.
I don't think that applies anyways.
No.
Because then, if you've got a buddy on the card in front of you who picks it up and is like, hey, is this yours? Then you could be like, oh, wait, no, that one is mine. And he sets it down out of bounds when he had just picked it up or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Out of bounds.
I could see that at a flex tournament, but not at the Mindkill.
Not on the lead card.
You don't know this Rory guy. What if he's a real dick?
Yeah, you're true. You're right. Really wants to win. Oh, I didn't even think about what's at stake here. Or this is tied for the lead right now. Or was at the time.
Technically doesn't matter.
But motives could change.
I think I agree with everyone. I think the timing is everything. If it had been discovered earlier before the lost disc was declared, there could be other outcomes. But I think the outcome is it is what it is. He takes the penalty as if the disc was never found.
So everybody's in agreement?
I think so.
Seems like it.
All right. Well, according to PDGA 805.03E, if it is discovered prior to the completion of the tournament that a player's disc that had been declared lost had been removed or taken prior to it being declared lost, then 2 throws are subtracted from the player's score for that hole.
Interesting.
What a specific carve out.
Is 2 strokes too many?
Well, one of them's a penalty stroke.
It's both of them. It's the rethrow and the penalty stroke. It's just, I don't like it. It's very gameable, kind of like what I was just saying.
Yeah. You have your certain text that you send your buddy. It's just like a code, like come up and find my disc.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old falling putt rule where you got to reputt your first time instead of being stroked.
Yeah.
While I was playing my my match play round, I was conversing with B. Klein. And one of the things we were talking about was about the rules and such. What we were talking about, practical versus letter of the rule kind of thing. And I think I want to say I used, was it 9? Is that the first one, kind of back in the woods? You can't necessarily see everything. It's not feasible. And we were just debating that kind of thing. And I was saying that one of the problems I think they have is that as soon as they put out a rule or write a rule, the first thing people do is how do you get around it? It's human nature. You're going to try to figure out, well, what's the worst case scenario? How do I benefit from that? So I don't know.
Got to play the gray area. That's how you get ahead.
Yeah.
Sounds like a real Rory move.
Yeah, it does.
I thought that was a good one.
So we got bonus points on that one.
Nobody.
Does that go effective next year, you said? Or is that already effective?
That's
That's current. Wow.
I just looked at it.
Yeah, 805.03E. I mean, he sent me the answer, but I even double checked it because that does seem, anytime you're taking off strokes for anything, but I guess Jamin explained it really well where he said, like, okay, you got your penalty stroke and your rethrow. So there's your 2 strokes that get removed. So
was lost discs part of the conversation about the proposed changes? And I wonder if that was part of the stuff that wasn't being stricken or anything, right?
No, but when the timer starts was changed.
That was the main thing? Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember.
Alex, what was the proposed for the time? When does it start?
If I remember correctly, I think it wasn't even a change. I think it was a
clarification. That's what it was.
Of how it's theoretically supposed to work.
Yeah.
Where
Gotcha.
As soon as you come to the area you think the disc is supposed to be, that's when the timer starts, even if nobody else is there. Although they are obligated to help, with no specification on how long they're supposed to help and how,
I'm on my way, Alex. I'm going to help you look. I'm coming, I promise.
Yeah, I'm still coming.
Clock's ticking.
And that was part of what I was saying is it basically kind of encourages you to go to the first person's disc and put off looking for your disc as long as possible, because the moment you start looking for your disc, that's when it seems like the timer starts. So what's my motivation to not go over to this other guy who could be 100 yards across the field and watch his shot and make sure he's not foot faulting or
exactly more
incorrectly marking his disc or any number of things. That was my whole thing. It just seems like as things get more complicated with rules, it just gets more complicated in general, and it slows things down. Speaking of complicated, deadbeat doubles, Jack says 7 played, everybody lost. I don't know. Probably because it was so hot. I don't know, but that's complicated. Let's see. Mitch Pipes and Mark McCabe shot a -10 at Kisco Tuesday dubs. We could probably do some SkipAce, but if anybody has anything, feel free.
Hopefully by the time this comes out, I will have advertised the Stony Kill Scramble. It is 100% currently viewable on Disc Golf Scene if people want to bookmark it or whatever they want to do. But I am dragging my feet a little bit on filling out all the minutia and all that sort of thing. But hopefully by the time this comes out, I will have stopped dragging my feet and everything will be visible, readable, whatever you want to do. Hopefully it should all be there.
This is how you know disc golf is way different than regular golf. How do you search for the word scramble in Disc Golf Scene and only 3 things come up and 2 of them are the Stony Kill Scramble for this year?
Yeah, that's really weird.
How did you not type Stony Kill as your search? Like, as if there's a lot of those.
Well, I just instinctually know that typing scramble on a keyboard with one hand is a lot less effort than trying to type Stony Kill.
And then you don't know if it's Stony Kill with 2 words or 1 word or...
I mean, I learned how to spell Stony Kill recently.
Here's the thing. Stony Kill, as registered on like the PDGA, is 2 words.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Which is different than everywhere else because we just like being contrary, I guess.
Well, it's like Mindkill. I purposely, the weeks that we talk about Mindkill, you'll see it both ways. I do that on purpose. Like I'll do it all as one word and then separate it sometimes just because it's fun. Actually, I think of it kind of like official and unofficial. I don't know which I do for which, but
around me there are towns called Wine and Skill and Post and Kill, and those are both one word.
Well, Fishkill's one word.
Yeah, right. I tend to think of Stony Kill and Mine Kill both being one word.
Corey, it looks like Justin's playing both days of the Battenkill, and you're not.
It's funny
You're gonna let him bag, and you're not gonna challenge him.
I messaged him asking if I should sign up for the AM side, and he flipped it on me and said, "Yeah, we can't let Ethan win." Although Ethan's like a 16-year-old kid. If anything, he should win. So I don't know. I don't typically need a lot of reason to play more CTK, and it would be cool to get a shirt. I do love my tournament shirts. So if it comes to another round too, or another 2 rounds too, then I don't know. I'm undecided.
I was thinking about both days also. I had not yet signed up. I looked and saw that it was only Joe Karen and MA40. And I said, well, I can't let Joe win uncontested. So I signed up MA40. And then I noticed after I did that, Eamon Foster, I don't know if he switched divisions. I thought I saw him in already somewhere else, but he's in MA40 now, which is cool. But I actually have both days off. So I was thinking about maybe playing MA2 on Saturday. But that means by round 2 Sunday on the Blue Tees, I will probably literally be crawling.
But you could play with T. Hud and B. Klein.
That's true.
And Jay Dunbar. That doesn't work as well. But,
Dunny. But I actually had a Battenkill question for Jamin.
Yeah, go for it.
Is the current configuration of 5 blues fairway, is that how it's going to be for the tournament?
Yes.
Awesome.
Like, what do you mean?
It's like a narrow strip from the tee to the stairs. And in the past, I've played it where that field on the left is much more mowed because a lot of my safer shots land out there.
When were you there?
Yesterday.
When?
We played reds at 8:30 and blues like right after.
Oh, okay. So I was there yesterday starting to widen that out a little bit.
Gotcha.
I'm limited because I'm using a weed whacker and a push mower, and that is a literal field.
Yes, it's massive. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to be hugely more to the left, but maybe 10, 12 feet more to the left.
I'll take every inch.
Yeah.
I'm also going to pull that clip too.
Actually, I took a picture from over there. Let me send it to the group.
You also built some stairs, which looks fantastic, by the way.
Oh, they're great. So I was playing with Brian Monahan while you're looking for that. He hadn't been in a while and maybe only once before. And so we're on 5's tee pad and I'm describing, the shot, and the stairs there are 280 according to my rangefinder, and the hole is like 340. He's like, what? That can't be. And he throws a shot like a good, but it was long and straight. And then I realized he was looking at 2's basket and thought that that's where we were going. So he was trying to get all the way out there.
That's why the long grass is there.
I was like, no, dude, like we looked at the sign, like it's a hard right turn there unless you want to throw up and over the church or whatever. So I gave him another tee shot because he was going the wrong way.
Yeah, that's the reason that grass is getting longer there, is to obstruct the view from 2 to 5 so that people don't go from one to the other.
Yeah.
And it's also like nice because there's that big giant patch of mowed nothing that, is just grass for grass's sake. So we're going to add some bushes in and maybe some trees in that kind of swampy area and hopefully dig a channel to redirect the water better so it's not so swampy. But yeah, all in due time.
No, the course looked great. The weather was beautiful. I'm excited for the weekend.
It's looking like it's going to be nice. The course is in the best shape I think it's ever been. I built that set of stairs. I also started building a bridge at the swampy part of 5 so that people can get over when it's wet out. I moved the basket to the long position on hole 7 today. I put in all the flags for 8 and 7. So everything's in really good shape, and I'm excited to get to the woods for the next few days and kind of make sure everything's great out there. I am cutting between like 5 and 7 trees down on hole 11 tomorrow.
That's exciting.
Whoa, the ones right in the middle of the fairway?
Yep. Yeah. As I like affectionately call them, the J Park trees.
Really quick on that, because I was with Brian Monahan, who's a regular listener to the program, and he said, having listened to you talk about Jay North and then having played the blues, he's like, I get it. So there you go.
Wait, what does he get?
No, he gets what you meant. Like your take on Jay North and versus the way that CTK blues play, he felt, and you're talking about even taking out more trees now, that he agrees with you, I think is what I was trying to say.
Oh, gotcha. I will say that like one of my defenses on hole 11 a lot of the times is like, yeah, getting down that hill on your drive is certainly a little fluky, but that is the only place on the entire course where luck plays a part.
That's the only reason why I bring it up to Jamin a lot, is because like it's like the one hole, and it's just
100%. Yeah, no, and I've always been trying to ease it up. It's just like at this point, the trees that I need to cut down are kind of big.
And it's not like the easiest spot to be like taking trees down either. I mean, that slope it's not flat there.
Yeah.
I did get to the bottom yesterday for like the first time from the blue tee, and it felt awesome. Just such a great throw.
Okay. So quick pause. Now, will you feel as awesome about it after Jamin lays waste to that entire fairway?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, then take him down, Jamin.
Distance is distance.
Unless you see the piles of sawdust, I bet you won't even know what trees are gone. Actually, like one of the things that I took from my J North round at the tournament was there's a lot of places on like the par 5 where there's a big tree that makes a really good obstacle, and then there's a small tree within like 4 feet of it that like totally fucks up everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those small trees that like I went to hole 11. I said, all right, where are they? And I found them. There's a few spots on that fairway where there's a large like missable tree, but then there's a small tree coming off at an angle that makes it way more of an obstacle than it needs to be. So like I'm going to take out a couple of those on the downslope. There's a big ash that just like uprooted itself at the bottom, but then there's like some dead pine trees on the top of the hill and then on the downslope that I'm going to take out too. And then there's one little hop horn that I'm going to take out near the basket that I feel like is turning one good 16-foot wide gap into 2 annoying 8-foot gaps.
So this weekend, what is going to be the new hardest hole of the course? Actually, I don't even know if a hole. I'm assuming 11 is statistically the hardest hole in the course, but
I would have to look at that. I think 9's up there.
Changed.
Oh yeah. 4. I don't think it plays super hard yet.
I mean, when it was like a par 3, it just like the score.
Yeah, it scored. 9 and 16 usually are pretty up there on challenging holes on that course.
Randy, while they were talking, did you put snow on Jamin's picture?
Yeah, because like that course is, really cold in the winter and you can't play it. And then I asked it to add a man in pink shorts.
Damn, it got it pretty good from like
it did. It looks like you. Yeah, the head is really
what's
messed
up with the head? It's big black.
Yeah.
He's wearing a hat and a snowman.
My phone's been charging. I haven't seen any of this yet.
The second I opened the first picture, it was like, "Do you want to edit with AI?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
You're like, usually.
Well, the first few things I typed, it just like did not like. I like the first thing I typed was like, "Make everything candy." I was like, just see what it could do, and it was just like, no, it just refused. And then I just typed in like, "Make it winter," and then I was like, "Add a snowman," and then I was like, "Oh, it's handling this." Like, add a man in pink shorts, and here you go.
And Corey, did you do the same thing with AI with that?
I didn't realize I had like
those people's faces are so scary.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had like Gemini AI on my phone. I just like noticed it. I'm like, oh, I see what I could do with this thing. So yeah, I asked to take the picture of Joe Disculka holding the big check. I said, make it so this guy is holding a sign that says "Hell yeah, brother." And then I said, put some dancing ladies in the background. And it looked like the most.
It's really terrifying.
It looks like the most Ravina picture ever.
It looks like the women are wearing masks, but it also changed his face too. No.
Yeah. Why edit his face? Like,
I thought you said make Ryan Travis hold the sign.
Yep. It looks like Ryan Travis.
Oh, that's funny.
So Evan, if you're looking at the first picture now, you can kind of see where I started to cut the field back.
I think it's very well manicured.
Oh, and when we played it, it seemed borderline, intentional. And I was like, wow, this is, I don't have that big forehand. So it's and I threw a nice turnover that was, kind of as long as you want to be, but just a little left into the tall grass. And we found it and I got up and down for par. But I said in the past, this has been much wider. So I didn't know how intentional it was.
Yeah, it'll make more sense once we get some other stuff in there, but because we're going to put that like dry stream bed in there, we're not planning anything of actual height yet.
Anything else, Jamin, about the Battenkill Open this weekend? It kind of snuck up on me, I'll be honest with you.
Same. Everything's going well. I was hoping to get a few tee pads fixed up before then, but that's not going to happen. But I talked to the guy today and it sounds like we are going to have stone in the next week or so. So I'm going to be able to start repairing like 16's tee pad, get it out of the mud, and just a couple other ones have sunken in a little bit.
Alex, you're playing both days?
I am, and I appreciate that the pro day is first because I get to use that as my quote-unquote practice rounds.
Nice.
Okay, so registration closes the day before.
The 3rd is what I think Dave Martin posted. Yeah.
That's for both days, I'm guessing?
I believe so. It should be. I just like basically copy and pasted everything from one into the other.
Yeah.
So that it closes the night that this presumably will air.
Oh, yeah. Thursday.
Tentatively.
So basically, if you download this and you're listening to it first thing in the morning, that's when you want to call Jamin to see if you can get in. Like as soon as you download it, be like, JHume.
I'm not taking late registrants this time. I'm done.
It'd be different if you closed it today as opposed to the 3rd for the 6th. I mean, that's a different kettle of fish.
No excuse at that point.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It happens every single time. It's just like there's too many steps. I got to be like, all right, yeah, you just got to PayPal me this, and I need your email address, blah, blah, blah. It's just, and then I got to put it in all by hand. It's just like, it's too much. I'd rather be focusing on other stuff the day before the tournament, not making sure somebody who had 2 months to sign up for it gets in.
Yeah.
There's a spot in disc golf scene where you get to put in like waivers and things like that, things you have to agree to in order to play the tournament. And I have heavily considered putting in a clause that says, if I need to change my division or something like that, I will attempt to do it myself before I contact the TD, which I don't know if anyone else would think that was funny other than me, but it's been in heavy consideration.
I just do it because it's like simpler than being like, you can just do that yourself.
Yeah.
You should name that the next Stonykill tournament.
To change your division yourself, edit it.
Dude, I did that to Jess Lasasso. She messaged me for Mindkill, asking to change her division. I was like, well, Jess, you can change that yourself.
You have the power. It depends on the tournament, though. Sometimes, like the Jammer, for example, because actually I got in because the AM side had spots available. The pro side didn't. But that's because, they have to go out and play the layout a certain way. So I think that, some people might try to use that to get around not being able to sign up.
Yeah. And to be clear, I'm not actually upset at anyone who contacts me and asking to change the division or whatever. It's just I'm worried I'm going to forget about it if I don't respond immediately. So yeah, it's more of a logistics issue than anything else.
If someone listening thinks Alex is talking about them, they're right.
He probably
yeah, probably right.
Well, Alex, did you play Stonykill Random Dubs on Wednesday, week 14?
I almost did, and then I decided that I didn't want to. As much as I love playing Stonykill, it was 90 plus degrees that day, and I did not feel like getting heat stroke.
You know who was on fire, though? Jeff Egan and Sam Richter shot a -13.
Yeah.
What about Pro League, Corey? Did you play?
Yeah, so we played Jay South on Wednesday. I bet you he didn't even post the Oh yeah, it was hot and the bugs were terrible. I know a lot of us were just rushing to get out of there. Even the live music that they do at the park on Wednesdays in the summer, there was like nobody there because it was so hot. It was an easy day to be a Queens police officer or whatever one was sitting down there in his car spectating. But yeah. Muccelli won his league.
Beat Justin Park by a stroke, and Adam Nelson was 2 strokes behind Justin Park. And Corey was a stroke behind Adam Nelson.
Yeah, I think they were like Justin shot 4 down, which I don't know how good that was.
955?
980 rated. So this past week, or the week 10 that has happened by the time this comes out, is like the last week of the first half. So then that means that anyone that has played a league round, that rating would be going into their...
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That round would be going into their rating, and then I think there's no pause in the season. It's going to go right into the back half of it.
So it's going to be 2 10s?
2 10s, yep.
I've got some very important information.
What do you got?
It's not really important, but Kyle Hirsch wants everybody to know that he ate a medium Domino's pizza that was stuffed crust with pepperoni, and he ate the entire thing by himself. So do not count on him to shoot well this weekend.
I also heard his neck was sore. And we know how that turned out last time. More excuse.
Is Domino's the one that just got the stuffed crust? Like they've had those stupid commercials?
Yes, according to the commercial.
Yeah, okay. Hey, remember when we missed out on that fad and lost a lot of money?
Even Little Caesars have done it before, haven't they?
Was the stuffed crust like intellectual property from like Pizza Hut for a while? Is that
might have
how
been?
That went down? Is that crazy?
Or Domino's is just bad marketers.
I should ask my wife. She worked at Pizza Hut in college. I'll get back to you on that.
Literally, if you start to type "was stuffed," it fills in crust patented, and yes, it was.
It's listening to you, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It was patented.
Mm-hmm.
I bought one at the grocery store recently.
Where'd it come from? Did you
DiGiorno.
check the label? Bet you didn't say "Made in USA."
It said "Made in Ravina."
Damn, where's the pizza joint?
Now I'm imagining tomato pie, but all the cheese is in the crust.
Oh, that'd be sick, but like in a bad way, like gross.
Pat, I don't know if you've mentioned Thatcher Dubs recently.
Thatcher Dubs Week 5 had a three-way tie for first at -11. Tim Martino and Kevin Wen tied with Dan Perry and Nick Atkatz Alcatraz, and Benji Farrell and Mike Botlez Zanchelli, all at -11.
They did a CTP throw up on 9. I have no idea what happened. But I like Thatcher Dubs. Dan and Benji are running it, and it's cool. And one thing I really enjoy is the way that they do random teams, because I know a lot of places do numbered chips or playing cards, but these guys have a bag of Scrabble tiles, so you find the matching letter, and I just think that's neat.
Ooh.
So cute.
So like Dennis and I were the A's, and Kevin Wen and Tim Martino were the B's. And if you're Cali, I think it's Q, because that's, a unique Scrabble tile.
And what hole was the CTP?
I think they did it at 9 because the T-pad's right there.
Speaking of 9, Tyler Ferrati shot a -9 at Port Jervis Disc Golf Spring Summer League to win.
That was slick.
Yeah, you're locked in, Pat.
Anything else?
I'm still crushing tag matches for better or worse, but
How many yet?
I am up to 66.
Let me know when you play 3 more.
Yeah, fair enough. Last year I did 83 total, and I'm on pace to beat that record by 50 if I can keep it going.
Evan, I think you should publicly invite everyone to play your 69th tag match.
I like this brainstorming. What are you thinking?
Do it at a monthly.
Make it the monthly? Oh,
That's
boy.
so far away. That's like at the end of the month.
Wait, where are you
Yeah,
at?
I'm at 66 already.
Oh shit! Well, you can.
It's got to be this week.
My wife and daughter are going out of town on Thursday. They're leaving, so I'll probably be hitting that soon.
The monthly this month is going to be at Greg's place, right? When is that?
Yeah, the end of the month, and
The
it's
26th?
also like a tournament there. Yeah, the Thrill on Quill Hill.
Oh man, more people signed up. All right, so as of when we started recording, me and Adam Nelson were the only people signed up for the Thrill on Quill Hill, and the signups opened like over a week ago. I don't know how no one signed up for it, but now there's only 4 people signed up.
They must have seen the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair, I guess. I don't know.
It's on the same day as the monthly, or just a
No,
separate
it's
thing?
the day after.
Oh, okay.
I got my Honda Fit up there once, so it's not that bad.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, oh, shit, there's 4 people in the tournament. Nobody else can fit.
Well, yeah, it's, in terms of space, yeah, that's...
I'm kidding, Greg. I know he's going to call me.
Me and Adam will carpool. Now there's tons of space.
I've been looking. I think it's too late for SkipAce to do an elimination. As of right now, they only have like 9 events left. Let me double check here. I mean, it's possible that we could add some. I don't know what would be missing. Right now, there's one that closes in 3 days. I thought today would have been the most reasonable time, but then I knew Tim wasn't going to make it and Jason. But right now, if you take that out, there's 8. And that next one's July 17th, which means, well, that would be, if we did it next week, theoretically, if we had a 7-person league, but then that assumes that all these events would stay in unless there's something else to add. I just don't know what events, you know what I mean? Like, there might be something feasible to add in. I'm not the one to make that decision.
Is there a way to make 2 people eliminated every week?
Dude, the Jammer and Mind Killer are still pending. Do we want to blow dude's mind? You know? I mean, I'm just being realistic. I think SkipAce is great, but it's just,
Yeah, it's a lot to ask of one person.
Yeah. This was a beta test anyway. So I'd argue alpha test, but
An AI generated alpha test.
yeah.
We'll just let them know next time that, hey, this is something that you should consider adding as a feature or something like that.
Well, I won't rule it out. Maybe next week. We'll see. I don't know what else is going on. Maybe we'll have a discussion on the chat and see if there's anything we might want to add or take away from what's left. We'll keep it in a hiatus kind of thing and see maybe. But there was an event. So we had 54 players for the DGPT Discmania Challenge presented by TrueBank. Still 54 people were on, still got a page 2. 54th place, we got Matthew, Don't Call Me Leroy Jenkins, Mike Schwartz, Jacob Dunbar, and Sparky Spalding, all on page 2.
Wait, hang on. Why does this look so weird? Do these numbers not add up?
What's that?
Live scoring shows I had like 1,400 points, but...
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm seeing what you're seeing. You've got over 1,000 points for sure, but on the standings page, you only have 950 or something. That's interesting.
So maybe I shouldn't go over this one. Maybe we'll wait and see.
Mine is 1191 versus 692.
Yeah, my live scoring is right, but the event page that when you go to standings and then select the Discmania Challenge.
Yeah, mine said 1052 and it says 659. So yeah, so we'll hold off.
Weird.
I mean, this does say full standings updates occur overnight. I would have assumed that meant yesterday, Sunday, but maybe it's Sunday.
But yeah, it's still pretty soon after it, and who knows?
Because then I saw myself in third place. I'm like, oh shit, well, how'd that happen? And I'm like, oh wait, because foreshadowing, spoilers.
Gunks Monday dubs, Jacob Driscoll and Brian Hyzer shot a -6 to win there. And Tim Martino and Dennis Daly shot a -12 at Colonial Acres dub. You said no prospect last week?
Correct.
The Heat. Get time for a quiz?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. We got 5. Anybody want to go Cali?
Sure.
You're going to go Cali, Evan?
Sure, why not?
Evan is, I think, the one that could do it.
This is gonna be so embarrassing.
Yeah, we're gonna
when
lose
we-
to Evan. Fuck.
And if I lose, I was by myself, so whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We should go 4v1. Actually, I think that's more even.
Well, I mean, if you're playing the Cali, that's in
That's
Wolf.
rowdy.
That's how it goes. But we're not doing Wolf, so I was thinking if I should give Evan the power to make the teams, but that would be too much.
No,
he
I
can
don't
do
want
it.
that responsibility.
Now definitely give it to him.
Oh, you don't want that? Of course, it's got to be Randy and Corey. They tied for the monthly.
Nice.
There you go.
Yes, good call. I was gonna say that anyways. It's the only people that went to the monthly.
With Cali, should he go first or last? I'm trying to think. There's no real
Put him in the middle.
advantage.
Yeah, you can give him choice.
Like give him the advantage of stealing more often, I guess, if he goes not first.
Well, then he also won't have a category. Well, theoretically, he won't have a category to pick because both categories will be picked.
Yeah, he won't get the first question, which is sometimes a softball.
Unless you're picking a category, Randy.
Yeah.
Then it's always the hardest or one of the harder ones.
You could assume that he can make a more informed decision on
Mhm.
the category, assuming they both get picked, and then choose from that.
That's fair. All right. Well, Evan, you're going last. Randy and Corey, since you guys won the monthly, what category would you like? Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
It just sounds funny since you guys won them. Let's go with 1.
All right.
All right. Question 1, Category 1. A kin of alligators and crocodiles, what Central and South American reptiles lends its name to an island group near Jamaica? A kin of alligators and crocodiles, what Central and South American reptile lends its name to an island group near Jamaica?
This is all you, Corey? Yeah, it's a caiman.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the caiman a disc?
It is.
Yep, Corey threw it on every hole.
You guys agree?
Not on that
Yep.
part, but that yes.
Innova Champion Disc, February 26, 2018. Should have asked you the year on that one. All right, Alex and Jamin, the non-monthly attenders, what category would you like? Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
I don't know.
Yeah, I got nothing. Let's go with category 3.
Sure.
All right, question 1, Category 3. What word is used to describe the force that attracts a body towards the center of the Earth or toward any other physical body having mass? What word is used to describe the force that attracts a body towards the center of the Earth or toward any other physical body having mass?
Gravity.
Yeah. I don't want to overthink it.
You guys agree?
Happy with that.
Is the gravity a disc?
I feel like we've had this one before.
We could. Here's what's throwing me. The event horizon, I was right. MVP makes an event horizon. It is the light that goes on top of a basket for Glow Golf.
Yep.
But then that was also a disc that had come out recently.
Yeah.
MVP makes the gravity is like their baskets. I'm pretty sure it's their baskets. But they make things that are not discs that are called gravities. So now I think that it is a disc. I'm thinking it is a disc.
All right. I like that. That's an awful lot of reasoning. I'm with it.
So it's a lot to go through for the first question, but that's where we're going.
No, I like it.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Supersonic Discs, June 27th, 2025.
Whoa.
You're also right, Jamin. Gravity has been an answer. Normally, if a disc goes from not a disc to a disc, I'll just ask the same question again. I just didn't like that question. It wasn't particularly worded well. So I brought the answer back because now it is a disc, but I changed the question.
Gotcha.
Evan, category 1, category 2, or category 3?
Oh, we're doing 3 categories. Nice.
Oh, did I not listen?
I changed it up. I think we got time for it.
Yeah, I think
All
we're
right.
good.
Sweet.
Fix my board.
Evan, you there?
Oh, sorry. I hit the button that I don't use anymore somehow. I must hit it with my arm. Category 2, Pat.
All right. Question 1, category 2. By 2500 BC, the Chinese were breeding a special worm in order to make thread and garment from what material? By 2500 BC, the Chinese were breeding a special worm in order to make thread and garment from what material?
I believe that's silk.
Is the silk a disc?
Mm,
Feel free to converse with all of your teammates.
I don't think I've ever seen one, or else I would say yes right away. I'm going to say yes. I think maybe it is.
I'm sorry, no.
Boo.
All right. Randy and Corey, category 1, category 2, or category 3?
Probably 1, I guess.
Yeah, let's do one more in one.
All right. Question 2, category 1. The carapace of what sea turtle is softer than others, allowing it to dive deeper than 4,000 feet? The carapace Of what sea turtle is softer than others, allowing it to dive deeper than 4,000 feet?
That would be leatherback.
Sure, I agree.
You guys agree? Is the leatherback a disc?
I don't like it.
You like it?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't like it.
either.
Yeah, let's just go
I say
no.
You don't know?
Yep.
RIPR, April 15th, 2024. Ripper, RIPR,
Ripper.
it's all capitals.
Hmm.
All right. Alex and Jamin, 1, 2, or 3.
I am not up on my reptiles, but I'm good with either 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I'm good with either 2 and 3. We could try to take the reptile one, but like I'm afraid Evan would just feed off of it.
My instinct is I feel more strongly about science things, so I would want to go to 3.
3 sounds good.
Let's do it.
All right. Question 2, category 3. What physical quantity is calculated as distance traveled divided by the time it took to travel that distance? What physical quantity is calculated as distance traveled divided by the time it took to travel that distance?
It's a velocity, distance over time.
I like it. I was getting lost on physical, but I understand that it just means physics now.
Physicky, yeah.
I was like tangible? Like what? Okay, yeah, I like it. Velocity.
What else you got? I don't want to give this to anybody else, so I'm just going to say, what else could it be?
Just speed.
Because you're not wrong.
Just keep saying them, Alex. You get infinite tries.
I don't know.
Can I hear the question again?
What physical quantity is calculated as distance traveled divided by the time it took to travel that distance?
Rate? Did you say speed also?
I have said velocity and speed.
So it would be speed then.
You guys agree?
I'm gonna go with yes.
All right. Is the speed or any version of speeding, sped, is that a disc?
It's funny because speed was the first word that came to my mind.
Yeah, I couldn't. Am I wrong there? Like, I mean, it's
that was fair because that was the definition of velocity that you gave.
I also thought velocity, but if it was a pass, I would have happily said speed.
Yeah, that's more of me trying to wedge in an answer.
Is the speed a disc?
I feel like it is. I don't have a ton of support for that, but it just feels like an old Discraft disc.
Yeah, I could see that. It's so obvious. I feel like it has to be, but I also feel like that's why it's not.
Yeah. No, I'm honestly, I'm like 55-45.
Wait, what's the 55 one?
Towards yes.
Okay, let's go with yes then.
All right.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
Dang it.
Evan, 1, 2, or 3.
Let's go to 3.
Question 3, category 3. Often measured in joules or calories, what is the term for the transfer of thermal energy from a warmer system to a cooler system? Often measured in joules or calories, what is the term for the transfer of thermal energy from a warmer system to a cooler system?
I should not be drawing a blank on this. God, I don't want to. I can't really talk it out because I don't want to say anything else in case I'm wrong. Just read it one more time, and I'm embarrassed to have not a good guess right now.
Often measured in joules or calories, what is the term for the transfer of thermal energy from a warmer system to a cooler system?
I don't know. Dissipation? I'm overthinking it.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Randy and Corey, often measured in joules or calories, what is the term for the transfer of thermal energy from a warmer system to a cooler system?
Entropy.
What about the word heat?
It said warmer. Wait. Yeah. That is a disc. Can you say it again, Pat?
I'm sorry, I can't. This is a steal.
I feel like it's no, because we've gotten entropy as a question before, and it was definitely a disc back then. The transfer of energy from a warmer system to a cooler system.
Is entropy measured in calories, whereas like heat is measured in calories?
Heat is measured in calories.
Is heat the right word
usually
for that,
that's
though?
more like a BTU, like a British thermal unit.
Yeah.
I vote entropy, even though it seems like we've had that before. But
is entropy do you measure entropy in a unit though? Like I have no clue.
You must.
I thought it was just like a
theory,
a vibe. Like things like fall apart. It's just like a vibe.
I vote entropy. I'm 55%.
That's the common number tonight, 55%.
55.
Yeah, we can go with entropy.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Alex and Jamin, often measured in joules or calories, what is the term for the transfer of thermal energy from a warmer system to a cooler system?
I was on heat from the very beginning.
Thanks, Corey.
I like it.
If you're heating something, you're taking warm and you're putting it to a cold thing. You're heating. And yeah, like Randy said, calories and joules are measures of energy.
Of heat, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. The only other thing that I could think of was diffusion, but I don't think it's specific at all.
I think diffusion was what Evan said.
I think he said dissipation.
Very similar concepts, true.
Yeah. But yeah, I like heat.
Yeah, heat was what was in my head, so let's go with it.
Let's go with it for the memes. This is
You guys
usually
agree?
people stealing my word.
Is the heat or heated or heating or any form of the word a disc?
The heat is a Discraft disc that was
Yeah, that's the old Discraft disc I was looking for.
2015. Not that old.
Alex?
I believe him.
Oh, yeah.
Going with yes for sure.
Well, no, I meant as far as the year.
Oh,
Might have been 2014, but like late 2014.
I'll go 2012 in case Jamin just doesn't remember things.
Discraft Ace Race 2014, October 23rd, 2014. All right, that was a double steal.
Yeah.
Randy and Corey, category 1, 2, or 3.
I would say 2.
Okay.
Question 2, category 2. What type of venomous snake is known for its long, hinged fangs and includes species like the adder and the rattlesnake? What type of venomous snake is known for its long, hinged fangs and includes species like the adder and the rattlesnake?
Hang on, Randy.
Okay.
Isn't a badass like Viper? No, that sounds way too badass.
No, I think it is
Oh,
Viper.
sick. Yeah, Viper.
You guys agree?
Yeah,
Yes.
Is the Viper a disc?
it definitely is. There's an end of a
It
disc.
is. Yeah.
What year?
I think Travis has 100 aces with one.
2012.
Oh, I'm going to go like 2004.
Innova Champion Discs, December 3rd, 1991.
Whoa. Good year.
Alex and Jamin, category 1, 2, or 3.
Stay with 3.
Yeah, that would be my instincts.
Sounds good.
All right, question 4, category 3. What word can be used to describe a loud, sudden noise, a financial market downturn, or a computer system failure? What word can be used to describe a loud, sudden noise, a financial market downturn, or a computer system failure?
Crash?
Oh, crash. Yeah. Yep. Crash.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Is the crash, or any form of the word, a disc?
This is another one where I'm just like, in my head, that's a disc already. I just have no idea what it is or who makes it or anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discs that like sound close. There's the Crank and there's the Clash, which is
The
an
Clash,
MVP
that's
disc.
probably what's in my head.
Yeah, I'm going to say no. I feel like naming a disc off of its ability to crash into something doesn't help. It's like, it's not something that, man, I really wish I had a disc that could go through bushes better.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Let's go now.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
I would argue crashing into chains is not a bad thing, but
True.
Ooh, that
you are
makes
still
sense.
correct.
Nice.
All right, Evan, 1, 2, or 3. I still have faith in you. I think you're still in this.
Let's take it to 2. And thank you for that.
No, it's still early. Question 3, category 2. What moon that orbits Uranus in 18 hours was named for a Shakespearean character who can circle the Earth in 40 minutes? What moon that orbits Uranus in 18 hours was named for a Shakespearean character who can circle the Earth in 40 minutes?
All right. I feel like I have a guess on the category, and that's pointing me to a Shakespeare character. And this might be, is it Puck, Pat?
Is that an answer or a question?
Yes, I think it's Puck.
Is the puck a disc?
I have no idea. I saw some company making discs with NHL teams on it. Prodigy, maybe. But is the puck a disc? I don't think so. I'm going to say no. If it is, I'll be surprised.
You are correct. All right. And Alex, double check me on here. I got Randy and Corey at 5, Alex and Jamin at 7, Evan at 3.
That's what I got, Pat.
Ooh, you
That's
keep
what I got.
Okay. No
I think
offense, but I
that's-
still take Alex's weight, has a little more weight than yours. Okay.
At halfway through, do we want to like invert the order or anything like that?
Are you guys cool with that?
Just happy to be here.
All right, Evan, let's reverse it. I got to put a little note here so I don't forget because I'll still screw it up. So just keep an eye on that. So we'll switch the order, Evan. Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
Let's stick with 2.
All right, question 4, Category 2. Lucian becomes chief librarian of the Dreaming in what Neil Gaiman comic book series with a one-word title? Lucian becomes the chief librarian of the Dreaming in what Neil Gaiman comic book series with a one-word title?
Sandman.
Is the Sandman a disc?
I don't think so. I'm going to say no.
You are correct. Alex and Jamin, Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
We could do one more in 3, or we could go to 1.
I'm good with staying with 3. It hasn't done us dirty yet.
Yeah, let's go for
I feel like every time I zig, I get messed up.
it.
Question 5, Category 3. In the rules of perspective, what term is used to describe the point at which parallel lines converge on the horizon? In the rules of perspective, what term is used to describe the point at which parallel lines converge on the horizon?
Oh, shit.
I think of that as the vanishing point. I'm not 100% if that's the actual term for it, but that's what I had in my head.
I like that. Man, there's like another word that is just completely eluding me. That's like, that is what it is though, right?
I haven't taken an art class in 15 years, but that's what I had in my head.
You took an art class at 2 years old, Alex?
Are you Ethan Hatters in a mask? Yeah, I can't think of anything else. There's like something's on like the tip of my tongue, but I'm not going to figure it out. I like it. Vanishing point.
Yeah.
Is the vanishing, any of those variations of the word vanish a disc?
Good job, Alex.
Yep.
Yes, it
Axiom
is.
makes a vanish.
Going right next to me.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Vanish, Axiom Discs, April 6th, 2016. Randy and Corey, category 1, 2, or 3.
Corey, you have any guess what category 2 is? Because Evan knows what it is.
Which means it's probably some freaking jam band or who knows. If I had to guess.
I'm just saying, if we go 2 and we get it wrong, he's going to steal it. But if we let him have category 2, he's just going to take them all.
We don't get anything by losing points. I say we go to 1.
All right, let's go to 1.
Question 3, category 1. With a name from the Maori, what powerful mackerel shark is the fastest in the seas, thought to cruise at an incredible 60 miles an hour? With a name from the Maori, what powerful mackerel shark is the fastest in the seas, thought to cruise at an incredible 60 miles an hour?
Corey, you know this one.
No, but I'm sure they had it in that Disney movie.
Name a shark disc.
Name a shark disc.
I'm going to go with the shark, Randy.
Yes, I'm so glad you said
No.
shark.
Why'd you
It's
say shark?
counterintuitive.
The hammerhead.
It's been discussed on this program
Shit.
why it's counterintuitive.
Do you know any other discs that are named after sharks?
It does come in Halo.
Shark.
Got about 10 seconds, Corey.
Am I getting the steal on this?
No, Randy
I
can't.
don't think so.
I'll in 9 seconds.
Okay. All right.
Another. What do I throw that has a shark on it?
I don't know if he said you'd necessarily throw it.
No, he does.
Oh, he
I
does?
think.
He does.
Pretty sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mako?
That makes it better.
Yeah, Mako.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the Mako a disc?
And to be fair, I throw Mako 3. I'll have you know.
Yeah.
We understand why you couldn't think of it. That makes sense.
What powerful mackerel shark's son's son is the fastest in the seas?
Mako Jr., Pat.
The third.
So yes, it is.
Yes, unless he's counting it as discontinued, but yes.
What year, Corey?
2003.
Randy?
Oh, the original Mako. Oh, God, 99.
Innova Champion Disc, September 18th, 2009.
Oh, wow.
That was a good year. I agree.
All right. Alex and Jamin 9, Randy, Corey 7, Alex, Evan 5. Does that sound right?
I'm on both teams.
Good job, Alex.
Yeah.
But yes, that is what I have.
Cool. Evan, category 1, 2, or 3?
We're going to stick with 2, Pat.
Question 5, category 2. What nickname was given to the British-born Samantha Luthwaite, an alleged extremist involved in several terror plots due to her marriage to a terrorist bomber? It's also the alias of the Marvel character Yelena Belova. What nickname was given to the British-born Samantha Luthwaite, an alleged extremist involved in several terror plots due to her marriage to a terrorist bomber? It's also the alias of the Marvel character Yelena Belova.
It's not the obvious one. What's her? No. I'm going to go with White Widow.
Is the White Widow a disc?
I figured it out.
I couldn't remember Black Widow's name, but that's not her first name.
No.
It's like Natasha or something, right?
Mhm.
There you go.
Okay. Is the White Widow a disc? I don't think so. I'm going to say no.
Fly High Discs, February 6th,
Ooh.
2015.
All right.
Alex and Jamin, category 1, 2, or 3?
My instinct is to go to 1 to avoid the 6s, but I don't know.
I'm all right with that.
Let's do it.
Category 1?
Yeah.
Question 4. What type of eel known for its camouflage has sharp teeth and pharyngeal jaws that enable it to eat prey whole? What type of eel known for its camouflage has sharp teeth and pharyngeal jaws that enable it to eat prey whole?
I only know 2 types of eels, and one of them doesn't really make sense for this.
I also only know 2.
Is the moray then?
Yeah, that's the one that makes more sense.
What's
Yeah.
the other one?
Electric?
We can't tell.
Woogie,
Oh,
woogie,
shit.
woogie.
You guys don't know about the American eel? Come on.
I know about river eels.
Those are American eels.
Then yes, duh.
Yeah, we want to go with moray.
Is the moray a disc?
Is that what he's
I
saying
don't
when
know.
he's singing "When the Moon Hits Your Eye"?
No, that's
No.
Italian for love.
It's a moray.
Oh,
There's an A and an E and no Y.
They could eat so much pasta though, with that big extension mouth.
all in, swallowing it whole and all that.
You think it's like ducks where they can't eat pasta because it's bred and it's bad for them, so you have to feed the moray eels cut up grapes?
We should find out.
What kind of eel do they use in sushi? Because I like that.
It's American
That's
eels usually.
eel sauce.
No.
I like the sauce too, but yeah, unagi.
It's an unagi eel, duh.
Unagi.
Anyways, is it a disc? Yes, I think it's a disc.
Sure.
Sorry,
I agree.
You guys agree?
I agree.
Innova Champion Discs, October 2nd, 1996. Thank you, Corey, for saving me from making a goofy pun. Randy and Corey, 1, 2, or 3. You got 4 questions left.
Did you know that one too, Randy?
Yeah, but I feel like we're I think it's a catch-22. If we like switch to a 6, we might get it wrong. Evan's gonna get category 2's number 6 right.
Yeah, and I'm not a Marvel guy or any of that stuff.
No.
I don't know. What do you think we should do?
Let's just do category 1, I guess.
Sure.
All right. Question 5, category 1. In Finding Nemo, Marlin says, I know funny. I'm what type of fish that's born male but can switch sexes one time? In Finding Nemo, Marlin says, I know funny. I'm what type of fish that's born male but can switch sexes one time?
I'm picturing him saying that entire line and not just
like, this guy's not funny at all.
Yeah.
Is it a seahorse?
No. The main character of Finding Nemo, what kind of fish is it, Corey?
Clownfish? Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's funny.
You guys agree?
Yeah, clownfish.
Is the clownfish a disc?
Oof.
I mean, it'd be funny if it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a good name, but like I might buy a disc with a clownfish on it.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's obscure enough to be right.
Yeah.
Without
I think
being...
I get to say yes before I change my mind.
Yep, we're going yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Shit, we should have took more time so I couldn't change my mind.
Final round. Alex and Corey, feel free to double check here. I got Alex and Jamin at 11, Randy and Corey at 8, Evan at 6.
That's what I got.
That's what I have too.
Okay. Oh, what man? So many people are scoring. You guys know I suck at scoring.
Not.
That's what it is. Oh, thank you, thank you, Randy, for your faith.
Yeah,
I think Jason's at home scoring. So, Evan, category 1, category 2, or category 3?
Let's see. I guess category 2.
All right. In Marvel Comics, what is the supervillain alias of James Sanders, a chemist who gained superhuman speed and initially operated as the Wizard? In Marvel Comics, what is the supervillain alias of James Sanders, a chemist who gained superhuman speed and initially operated as the Wizard?
God, is this one of those Squadron Supreme guys? God, it's not like their version of the Flash. That's a good question, Pat. I don't know. You stumped me there.
You want to take a guess?
How about, I don't know, Mercury?
Final answer?
Yeah.
Good guess. Alex and Jamin in Marvel Comics, Jamin's favorite. What is the supervillain alias of James Sanders, a chemist who gained superhuman speed and initially operated as the Wizard?
Easy.
Oh, yes.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you. I have a single guess that I'm fairly sure is quite wrong, but
that's better than my guess.
Yeah. The only speedster I know in Marvel is Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. Let's go with it. I like it. I could see it making sense with some of the other stuff.
I'm pretty sure they're all Marvel characters. I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Final answer?
Yes.
Randy and Corey in Marvel Comics, what is the supervillain alias of James Sanders, a chemist who gained superhuman speed and initially operated as the Wizard?
I jokingly wrote down like Doc Ock like before it started because I was trying to like think of villains. The Wiz. He just got his PhD now. He's Dr. Wiz.
Dr. Wiz. I love that. Sorry, I should be on mute.
No, I'm going to say a lot of stuff that's probably going to make you realize I don't know anything about Marvel. What's the origin of, I'll just ask Evan, what's the origin of the Silver Surfer? Is that the answer?
No, he was a scientist from an alien planet, and when Galactus came to devour his world, he sacrificed himself to spare his planet, so Galactus imbued him with the power cosmic.
And his name was?
Norin Rad.
Thank you.
That's sick. Yeah,
we could have just made all of that up.
I know. I have a lot of faith that he could have made it up, but...
He did, 100%. He was actually achieving his doctorate. He hadn't gotten it yet. No, I'm teasing.
I knew most of those things other than the Silver Surfer's actual name.
I'm curious with the Fantastic Four movies, they're doing a woman.
Yeah, I want to see how that plays out.
Okay, Evan, his wife's name?
Shala Ball.
What the?
Silver Surfer was my very favorite character growing up, so if you do a round of Silver Surfer B-tier villains, then I'm ready. This is a good one, though, Pat. What's the answer here?
Wait, no, yeah, we supposed to guess.
Randy and Corey.
Oh, I thought it was Dr. Wiz.
Nobody beats him. The Wiz.
Corey, can you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Corey, can you think of any fast characters in Marvel?
No.
Oh no.
Superman.
Superman is not Marvel, but good, very fast. Should we just say something fast like supersonic? I don't know.
Supernova.
You got Superman made me just start thinking of that.
Yeah, the Flash.
It's not. It's
Got
not
about
the
10
Flash.
seconds.
Or do we want to go Dr. Wiz?
Dr. Wiz.
All right, we're going Dr. Wiz.
We're looking for Speed Demon.
Ooh, so obvious.
Speed Demon. Gateway Disc Sports, February 23rd, 2023.
Man, we really should have guessed a disc name at least.
That wouldn't have been that one.
No, it wouldn't have been, but whatever.
The fact that White Widow is actually a disc. I knew Speed Demon was too tough, but I needed to also get rid of the disc name in my list of disc names. And I went with the DC version of Sandman just to trick you, Evan, because Sandman's also a Marvel character.
We've been fooled.
All right, Alex and Jamin, category 1 or 3.
Still leaning towards 3,
All right, I like it.
since it's a 6 either way.
Question 6, category 3. What term for a servant or follower has the same French origin as a type of fillet? What term for a servant or follower has the same French origin as a type of fillet?
Oh, minion.
Yeah, I guess Minion?
You guys
I like
agree?
that.
Yeah.
Is the minion a disc?
The minion a disc. I don't hate it with like all the Doomsday, like that company, and
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
I'm throwing out my Minion to get close to the basket. I like it just based off of, that sort of word sequence, I guess.
yeah, maybe there's a cut of steak company that's trying to get Corey on board. I'm gonna throw with my T-bone.
Yeah. All right. So we're going yes?
Yep.
I'm sorry, no.
Nah.
But I think that was still enough. Randy and Corey, final question. From a Greek word for desolate, what soft-bodied crustacean lives in the cast-offs of others? From a Greek word for desolate, what soft-bodied crustacean lives in the cast-offs of others?
Desolate crab.
Focus on the living in other shells.
Hermit.
Yeah,
Hermit crab.
we're going with hermit crab.
Is the hermit crab a disc?
Full name hermit crab, not hermit. Okay.
Hermit or hermit crab would work.
I say it is a disc.
Let's go yes.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm sorry, no.
Darn it.
Does anybody have a guess as category 3?
I mean, gravity, speed, and heat were like something, and then we had crash, and I'm like, that's kind of in there, and then vanish and minion were just completely out of.
Are they just movie titles?
It's movies, right?
Can you be more specific?
Movies that got turned into Netflix. Goes.
Sandra Bullock,
Oh my God.
right? The first
Yep,
three.
they're all Sandra Bullock.
Was she
Gravity,
in-
speed, the heat, crash,
She was in Crash.
vanishing, and minions.
Oh, The Heat. I was gonna say, was she in that with Pacino
No,
and
she-
De
the
Niro
Heat.
and
Oh.
Val Kilmer? Like, I don't. Sandra Bullock is on the poster for Heat.
With Melissa McCarthy, I think.
The Heat. Yeah, I remember. I saw that. That movie was kind of funny.
My condolences.
Yeah, no, it was all right. It was all right.
Congratulations, Alex and Jamin. Good job, fellas. Evan, it was tough, but you did pretty well for solo. Your partner was no help.
It's tough out there alone. Something like heat. When Corey said entropy, I was like, oh my God, that's it. And how could I not think of that? And then it wasn't that. But I mean, dissipation, like, what the hell?
I said, a couple of those I wedged in there. They were like speed as opposed to velocity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
not my finest work and kind of a rush one, but I liked it. And the only reason I included the Marvel one was because you went third and it hadn't been picked yet. So I was like, I think I'll at least give him a shot.
Appreciate you.
Plus, I knew Jamin would never get Speed Demon, so had to.
Yeah, that was
That's
a good one. That was tough.
But it was also one of those that on a shot in the dark, somebody might get too. You know what I mean? Like Speed Demon. That's Corey when he's riding his motorcycle. He's a Speed Demon.
Within legal limits, of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tibor and Brandon Lockhart shot an even par to win Warwick Tuesday dubs. Jackson Quinn and John J.P. Hafner shot a -20, but so did Justin Heaton and Brandon Wolf at Wilcox Tuesday dubs, so they tied. Don't know of a winner there. Peter Fitzisti and Justin Matthews shot a -7 at CPS Thursday dubs, week 11. Rob Volecki won the Skylands Friday Handicap League first annual Schmodown Handicap Classic Matt Strickrod and Craig Henninger shot -13 at TGI FDR dubs. Alyssa Caslin and Jay Malloy shot a -6. So did Pete Fitzsisti and Dennis Daly at SPW dubs. Cran Moore Dubs League earns its name because they played at CTK Blues. Jesse Nyman and Ryan Travis 148343 shot a -7 to win. Jared Blasdell shot a -2 to win the Port Jervis Disc Golf Club June Monthly. Josh McDonald shot a +3 to win the Long Island June Tag Round. And Stephanie Tashner and Hein Bow shot a -12 to win Long Island Disc Golf Sunday Dub. Anything else? Anybody?
We got any birthdays?
Oh, David Koch. Oh, wait, his birthday was the 28th. Damn, did I shout him out last time?
I don't think
Shout him out now.
Oh.
I see Earl Steenberg. I see Tucker Kozlowski, Mark Ox.
Kim Hellenick, shout out.
If you're going to mention Tucker, you got to mention 2024 Hudson Valley Disc Golf
Exactly.
Podcast Player of the Year, Tucker Kozlowski.
Yep.
Josh Lee.
Yep.
That's his full name.
Yeah, that's all the ones that I know.
Mark Ox.
Yeah, we said him. Now you shouted him twice. Now
Darn
you
it.
everybody else twice.
Darn
so
it. Darn
everyone's
it.
Equal.
I was just scrolling.
Upcoming. Oh, did we mention Tucker Kozlowski and Mark Ox are coming up?
Yeah.
I saw those.
We may have said that once or twice.
Okay. Jeff and Adam Walsh before next time. All right. Well, thank you, Alex, Randy, Corey, Jamin, Evan, and Jason. Thank you for the rules question that tricked all these fools. And sweet up, Hudson.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, guys.